Let me tell you, right now, this week, there is loads and loads of excitement because brand new attorneys are being sworn in all over the country. Some people, of course, like me, did a private ceremony because they were just so anxious and so excited. So they went to a judge, they went to their chambers or in open court so everybody could clap for you. And they were sworn in as newly licensed attorneys in whatever state they took the bar. And if that is you, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I know it feels good, right? You're like, oh, I got a bar card. Or maybe you already had one, but now you're like, I can really practice. I don't have to stay at this firm I was at interning. I can do my own thing. So congratulations. Today, we're going to talk about what to do with that momentum, that energy, that vitality that you have on today's episode of the Attorney Cheat Code Podcast. My name is Alicia Jones, and if this is your first time here, then welcome. I am going to give you tools necessary to fast track your way to profitable firm ownership, not just to create a firm, just so you can have a law firm, but to create the life of your dreams. And of course, if you've been here with me before, then welcome back in the room. Make sure to hit that bell so that you can be notified of future episodes and so that you can be subscribed to the channel. And of course, we are not gatekeeping, so share this with an aspiring attorney. Share this with an attorney that just passed the bar. Share this with an attorney that passed the bar 30 years ago and they need to remember why they started. You want to remember what the momentum was, what that energy was like when you first passed the bar. I remember being so nervous and just excited that I could see my name on this very, very long list of bar passers. And my parents was there, my brother was there, and we drove up to Austin. And I just remember standing, being sworn in. And of course, it's like anticlimactic because it's like, oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, that was it. Now we can go take pictures. And now we can think about how to pay Sally Mae back, right? But for you, I want you to start with strength. I want you to think about what that momentum and what that energy can do for you. I want you to think about yourself as a brand new attorney, and not just an attorney, but think about yourself as an innovator, as a firm owner. You are here on this channel for a reason. You know why you're here. You know that it's in you, even if you're kind of fighting with it. You don't know if you want to do it right now. You don't know if you should launch today or next year or what you should do. So I want to talk about that. When you think about your momentum, yes, for a minute, pause. Take a minute, take it all in. Think about the years of sacrifice. Think about the times that you were in the library studying when all of your friends were kicking it. Think about the missed birthday parties. Think about the missed quinceañeras that you missed. All of those things that you sacrificed to make sure that you could be here today. And you're here. It was worth it. It was worth it. Let me tell you, after practicing for nearly 14 years, I look back and I think about the sacrifices that I made, and it was worth it. My grandmother told me when I was studying, she was like, hey, you pay attention to your studies. We are right out here. We'll be okay. We will see you in 3 years when you resurface after you've passed the bar, after you've studied, after you've passed law school and taken the bar. And I just remember, those nights like feeling frustrated and just, oh my goodness, but now you are here. So we are here to celebrate that. We want to talk about what that energy can do for you, because you're not hunkered down anywhere necessarily. Maybe you have some leads here and there, but now is really the time, if you don't have those leads, to make those connections, to network like your life depended on it. You're not the only one that's excited. There are other people that have been praying for you in the background that have been waiting for you to pass the bar. And maybe, I know, those people want some free services because maybe they cook for you. And that's fine. It's time now to sow seeds, so that in 10, 15, 20 years, you still have referrals from that source. It's time to make sure that we are taking care of our community in the way that we have so longed and dreamed about. So you want to think about your family and friends. You want to start connecting with them. Start doing presentations for their clubs. If your mom is a president of a chapter of whatever, the Links, the Deltas, if your mom, your aunt, your grandmother have these connections, their Rotary Club, if they are on some speaking club, if they're part of a junior league or a senior league or whatever, go and do a presentation on the area that you really want to practice. Start getting in front of people, start networking, start getting your name out there. Use that momentum and use the excitement of those around you to start building your brand. Think about this as your superpower. You want to think about where you are now as your superpower. It is not that you are starting from scratch and, oh my goodness, there's so much to do. Yes, but reframe your thinking. Think about where you are now as a superpower for any firm that you may want to connect with, any clients that you may want to connect with, because you don't have the bad habits to get rid of. You don't have 20, 30, 40 years of writing things down on paper and now having to adjust to systems that are simply electronic. You don't have that to fight with. You are a brand new generation coming in where we have uses of AI tools, where we have automations, where we have systems and protocols put in place to make our lives so much more easy than it was before. Even your research, you're not picking up a book necessarily to do research. You're going online. And then you have access, when you go online, you have access to other tools to be able to research and do it effectively. So think about that as your superpower. Think about that as, okay, now I can come in and really hit the ground running because I have access to so many other tools that attorneys prior to me did not necessarily have the access to. You not just have access to the new technology and the new systems, but you understand it. Because this generation, whether you are coming out now or whether you are transitioning, the generation now has used tech since they have been born. I think about my kids. Of course, you think about yours too, right? They've been using your iPad and your phone, and they can probably use it just as good as you can. They know how to scroll, they know how to swipe, they know how to call, they know how to end the call, they know how to make a video call to pop or grandma or their auntie to tell on you because you're not giving them what they're supposed to have. All of those things are in place now because you are used to them. You're used to using that technology. And so if you're thinking about your superpower, once you take the information, the knowledge that you have with using this technology in other arenas, you use that to shop online, you use it to order flowers for a friend, you use it to order your food. That is a normal process for you. Now you can take that, which seems very normal, into the legal industry and use that as your superpower to automate processes and to make your launch to firm ownership even easier. You know, the other thing you have fresh eyes. Because you have not looked at a lot of these cases, because you don't have the years and years of experience, you have fresh eyes. You're not jaded because you've seen 1,000 of the same divorces. You're not jaded because you've seen 1,000 of the same criminal case. You're not jaded because you've seen 1,000 of these will contests. You're coming in with fresh eyes, new excitement and new energy. And now you can bring that to not just your case, but you can bring it to your client. You bring it to your firm. And again, if you connect with another firm, that's also a selling point. You can come into them and say, hey, let's do a co-counsel situation. And this is what I bring to the table. What I lack in years of experience, I bring in the understanding of technology. I bring in the understanding of automations and artificial intelligence. And I have fresh eyes. And you know what is really, really important? And I hear other attorneys talk about it all the time. And I know that you are an adult and I respect you. You're an adult, sis. You are. I get it. But what they often talk about is that the new generation coming in comes in with an ego as if they already know everything. And that is foolish. Hear me when I say foolish. And what these older attorneys are going to do, they're going to let you stand there and look foolish because you got to fall flat on your face. Come in humble. You know those songs. Sit down, be humble, right? So come in and chill, sit down, learn a little bit. Learn from the people that are in front of you. Learn from those that have been here for however many years. I am a Southern girl. I don't like to say I'm country. I'm a Southern girl. So one of the things we say in the South is chew the meat and spit out the bones, meaning you don't have to take everything from that seasoned attorney. You don't have to take everything that they say at face value or take it and apply it just because they said it. But what you can do is take the things that you need. Take the things that are applicable for you and spit out the bones. Don't use the things that are not applicable for you. If they're telling you that looking in a book is the only way to do research, let them say what they want to say. Let them talk. That's fine. And then, you know, for you, that's actually not what you're going to apply. That is not applicable for the way that you want to run your firm in this millennium. So I want you to think about that and all of those things as your superpower, your fresh eyes, your momentum, the fact that you don't have bad habits to break right now, the understanding that you have of technology and automations and AI is a superpower. And then I want you to use that superpower to launch, to learn, and to leverage. I want you to launch, learn, and leverage. I want you to launch your firm. What does that look like? It means preparing to have your own firm, preparing the landing page or the website. It means getting your bank account set up properly. And now, because you're just starting, you have time to put those things in place. You have time to actually prepare in the correct way. Think about your avatar. Think about the client that you want to serve. Think about the community that you want to serve. Where are they? What are their ages? What are they doing right now? How can they find you? Take some time. If you haven't done it before now, take some time to think through that, to think about all of that. That is your launch plan. When do you want to launch? What area do you want to focus on? I don't want to say do not be a generalist, but I do want to say do not be a generalist because that is the equivalent of bill law. And if you say, you know what, I really don't know what area I want to go into, then you might want to think about an apprenticeship. And I'm going to talk about that more in a moment. But you may want to think about doing a few cases alongside another attorney that's already doing that. But you don't want to launch and say, oh, I am a criminal law attorney. And then 5 months later, I'm a family law attorney. And then 5 months later, I'm a civil litigator. And then 5 months later, I do condemnations and lease agreements. No. Find out where you want to be. Think about your areas of interest. Think about those cases or those classes that you had in law school that really piqued your interest. And not necessarily that's where you're going to end, but think about starting there by co-counsel with another attorney. Work some cases with them. See if that is an area that really does excite you. See if that's something you can see yourself doing 10, 15, 20 years down the road, if that is your desire. So you want to prepare. You want to think about how to launch. You're getting your bank account in place, your website, your phone number, your fax number, your email address, all of those things, to think about what your 1-year plan is. A year from now, I've been sworn in on October 28th, 2025, right? For instance, or November 1st, 2025. I have been sworn in. So November 1st of 2026, what do I want to have accomplished? Do I want to launch my firm exactly 1 year from now, or do I want to launch it on the swearing date? Do I want to say, hey, I am open for business? And as some people say, I'm going to build the plane in the sky. Or if you're like me, I am going to do some planning. I'm going to get some stuff in place, and then I will launch when I am comfortable. But again, we'll talk about that. Push yourself. So think about what you're going to do in the interim. So you're going to launch. The next thing I want you to do while you're launching is learn. This is a time to learn the craft. This is a time to, like I said, if you think you want to do criminal law, find a very good, knowledgeable criminal law attorney that has been in the game, that you can apprentice with, or that you can co-counsel with, or that you can work with, or you can contract with, to get a little experience under your belt to see if that's an area that you want to go into. You can do some of the resets. I started in criminal law. I thought that's what I wanted to do, and I actually enjoyed most of it for the most part. And then it became boring. Going back and forth to court every month just to fill out some paperwork, and nobody's actually getting out because this is just a reset. And then we're waiting for the discovery, and we're waiting for the officer's report, and all this other stuff, all this red tape that's in the way of somebody actually getting to their freedom was not it for me. But I had the opportunity to work alongside some other attorneys and get that experience before I put my name out there as a criminal law attorney. So do the same thing. Get your feet wet. Go to some family law cases and see if that's what you want to do. See if you can file a couple of divorces. Go through a case from start to finish, or from intake to closure, really, from intake from that client coming in until their final offboarding meeting with the firm, and see if that is the type of case that you want to handle. See if those things excite you. See if the law is intriguing for you in that area. And make sure when you're going through that process, regardless of the area that you choose, ask questions. Go in with a plan. Be clear, be honest with the attorney that you're speaking to. Don't make them think that you're coming on board and you're going to work for them for 3 or 4 or 5 years. Be honest. You want to come in, you want to provide value to their firm by providing assistance, by freeing them up to do other things. And your plan is to launch your own firm in such and such timeline. Be upfront. Me as a firm owner, I want you to be upfront. I respect those that come to my firm and they say, hey, I want to launch. I need some experience. I would like to devote 6 months here or 2 years here or 3 years here, whatever the case may be, so that I can gain some experience and I really want to launch. Everyone's not meant to stay with my firm, and that is okay. I'm absolutely fine with that. But don't come in selling wolf tickets. Like, come in and tell me what it is off the rip, right? So if you come in, also ask questions. Can I sit in the intake with you? I want to understand how you speak to clients. That's one of the skills that I absolutely did not have even after launching my firm. That was one of the things with some of the attorneys that I did some co-counsel or some contract work with. I never had the opportunity to sit in an intake to see what types of questions they asked. So you want to do that. Ask the questions. Why did you ask that? Why didn't you ask that? Or when the client said this, what were you thinking? Or here are the notes that I had. Can I compare them with the notes that you had from the intake? And then when you're going through, I'm noticing on the billing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, why this? Would you mind telling me that? And of course, if you have not been upfront with that attorney, then they may be a little hesitant to open up to come behind the veil and show you behind the veil, show you how the sausage is made. But that's why I said be upfront. This is my goal, and I want to be able to ask questions from you. I want to be able to glean from your knowledge while I service your firm and while I add value to your firm. It has to be mutually beneficial. I'm going to work. I'm going to do the cases. I'm going to devote the time, and I would really appreciate if you would help me to understand the business of the firm ownership so that when I launch, I'm more successful, or I have a better opportunity to be successful. So think about that. And of course, while you're doing that, while you're asking the questions and you're understanding, you're leveraging, you're launching your firm in the background, you're learning in the forefront, and then you're going to leverage. You're going to leverage what you have. You're going to leverage your network. You're going to leverage and make sure that you have mentorship. You make sure that you have someone in place that is pouring into you to remind you of why you did the thing that you did, to remind you or to help you go from point A to point B a little bit quicker. Your mentor is going to help to identify some of those loopholes and some of those pitfalls that you can actually avoid because, hey, I've been in that practice, or hey, I've been practicing, period, right, for 25 years. Maybe you're, again, criminal law, but your mentor does not practice criminal law. And so what? That's fine. They can still tell you about the practice of law. Especially for me, I don't know if you know, I'm a Black woman, right? So if you can see me, I'm a Black woman in Texas, not from Texas. So it was very important for me when I moved here and I started my firm to make sure that I had mentors in place that can understand my perspective practicing law as a Black woman in the South. And I found, and I was gifted, I feel like from the Lord, I was gifted with mentors that understood that. And at the time, the main mentor that I have did not even practice the same area, but it did not matter because she understood being an attorney, being licensed, being female, being on my own, and being in Texas, right? So you want to find someone that can speak to you from that perspective. When you are ready to throw in the towel, and let me tell you, you will get to that point that you're like, you know what, forget it. I'm going to go flip burgers. Forget it all, right? When you get to that point, you want to be able to call a mentor that's like, it's okay, let's go to lunch. It's all right, you know what, let's talk through it. What's really going on? What's behind that? How are you doing as an individual? How is your family doing? What is your spiritual life looking like? You want to make sure that you have those things in place so that as you build, your foundation is strong. Again, you want to network. Network like your life depends on it, especially once you put a deadline or a launch date into the atmosphere and you let people know, you let those accountability partners know, you let those friends know that you are launching on December 1st, 2026 or March 15th, 2026, whatever date that you have in mind. You want to network. You want to let everyone know, hey, if you're looking for an attorney in this area, call me. Here's my card. Here's my electronic card. Here is a link to sign up for a consultation. Whatever you've decided to do, you want to network like your life depends on it. And you know what else? Cheat code time. Binge CLEs. My goodness. CLEs, continuing legal education, just in case they don't call it that in your jurisdiction and in your state. Continuing legal education can be very expensive and it can be very cost prohibitive. And I hate to say that, and I hate that it's that way, right? But if you really want to get the information and you want to learn and you want to network and you want to do all those things at the same time, a CLE is the place to be. Especially the in-person CLEs, you're going to be around other practitioners in your area. You'll be able to introduce yourself, meet some of the judges in that area, some of the lawmakers in that area, some of the other seasoned attorneys in that same practice field. And then at the same time, you're learning. And typically in your first year or so, your CLEs are going to be half off, 25% off, or some type of discount, which is going to help you get some of those CLE hours under your belt so they can carry over for the next year. A little cheat code, right? But make sure that you take advantage of that and that you watch and you attend however many CLEs that you can. Take notes, take it serious. And then, of course, during the networking hour, network. Get your name out there, shake hands, kiss babies, whatever you need to do. Make it known, hey, you know what, I just passed the bar and this is the area that I'm interested in. How do you feel about it? You've been practicing. I see you've been practicing for 15 years. I enjoyed your presentation. How do you feel about such and such and such and such? You know, attorneys, we love to talk, and especially judges. Grab a seat, sit down. They love to talk. So make sure that you're networking. Make sure that you are leveraging your network. Make sure that you're leveraging this time by binging CLEs. Make sure that you're leveraging this time by being an apprentice or a co-counsel for someone else's firm so that you can learn and ask questions. All of this in totality takes a mindset shift. You have to go from studying for the bar, preparing for the bar, and then anxiously waiting for bar results to now firm innovator, to now firm owner, to now leader. People are going to call on you. People are going to expect that you understand the law. People are going to expect that you know how to advocate for them, that you have a bar card. I don't know. I'm trying to think in my years of practice, has anyone ever asked me how many years I've been practicing? And I honestly don't think I've ever been asked that question. So it's not that they're going to say, ooh, your bar card smells new. They're not, right? If it's an area that, you know what, I have a little knowledge, but I need some assistance, that's where the mentorship comes in. That's where the co-counsel comes in. That's where the apprenticeship comes in. Now you can say, hey, I have this client come in. I would love for you to be able to come in and work this case with me. Do you have the space for that? Can you come in and do that with me? And when you have a network of people that you have been solid with, they will make sure to take care of you as well. But your mindset has to shift. You have to think about yourself as a firm owner. There are thousands of attorneys being sworn in. And if you think that there are also thousands of jobs just waiting for each one of them, then you have fooled yourself. There is not. There absolutely is not. There is not a job waiting for each and every person that has passed the bar and that has been sworn in. That's just not how life works. Look around the United States. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of attorneys being sworn in twice a year. There is not enough jobs for each one of them. And you are here because you know in your heart, you know that people have told you that you're a firm owner. That is your purpose. That is what you have been designed to do. And you are called to it. And let me say, you may feel that there's some fear. I get it. Fear is real. That fear is absolutely real. What if I start and nobody calls? What if I can't pay myself? All the what ifs, right? What if, I start and I get a client and I don't know what the heck to do, right? All of the what ifs can be there, but you won't even know unless you try. And use that fear to push through the fear and use that energy that the fear is trying to keep you down with and say, absolutely not, right? Declare over yourself, I will be successful. I am valuable. Maybe I don't have 15, 20 years of practice, but what I do have is a mindset. I just passed the bar. I know the law. Now I just need to be able to apply it. Now I want to be an advocate. Now I'm going to sit in maybe on some hearings or trials so I can see how things go. Another cheat code. I'm going to see how things go on the flip side so that when it's my time, I am ready to step into my position as a leader. And I know you can do it. If you pass the bar, which you did, you have been sworn in, which you have, I know that you can do it. That was the hard part. Now it's time for the fun part of creating a firm that works around you and your life. And just in case you are concerned about the fear, I have a few episodes for you to watch. I did a mini masterclass on the 4 top fears that every firm owner has experienced. You are not alone. It's not just you feeling like, oh, is everybody else all excited and, ready to go? And then I feel, nope. A lot of people fronting, and that's fine. Some people say fake it till you make it. And if that's how you feel, that's fine, right? Push through the fear. Use the energy of the fear to ensure that you launch with power. And check out these next episodes. There's going to be a link below or up top Make sure you check these episodes out so that you can understand, okay, I'm actually not alone. And here's the fear, but what do I do with it? I will see you in the next episode.